Carolyn Dube here. What's the play for today? Well, today, for this Let's Play video, I am going to be using it or losing it. What that means is I'm going to force that inner hoarder, that inner collector in me to let go of some things that I've held on to for just a little too long. Today, I'm going to be playing around with these brochures from the Crone Conservatory Butterfly Show in Cincinnati. Beautiful brochures, beautiful pictures of butterflies, amazing pieces that just remind me of the trip. I so want to use those in something creative and artful. And guess what? They're from 2005 and 2006. You know, if I haven't used it in 10 years, reality check, when am I going to use it? So today I am going to force myself to use it or lose it. Now, most likely people don't want some kind of half-used brochure. So that means if I don't use it, I'm going to have to throw it away, and that's going to freak out this part of me that so wants to collect, hoard, and save supplies. So these are the brochures from a butterfly exhibit. Beautiful color brochures with the most amazing photos of butterflies in them, and I have treasured them. 2005, 2006, we're talking 10 plus years. It's time to use these. So what I'm going to do is cut some of them up and put them in the journal. Now the collector in me is like, well, they have these kind of cool maps on the back too, but you got the cool pictures of the butterflies on the front. You got to make sure that you're not going to cut up the butterflies. If you cut up the map, and you got to choose, do you want the map? Do you want the butterflies? And you can see why, with all of that running through my head, every time I looked at this, these things ended up just being saved and treasured in the drawer rather than making the life-altering decision as to whether or not to cut out the map. Now the butterflies, they just scream to me to be fussy cut, so I am actually going to take the time to cut neatly around the edge of the butterfly. This to me is a Herculean task. This is not something I do lightly. And after doing one, I'm even willing to do a second one. But while I'm cutting out the second butterfly, I keep looking over at these sheets of these butterflies, and if I don't use them, I have to throw them away. I mean, who wants a half cut up piece of butterfly paper? That's not something donatable. I'm gonna have to throw these things away, but I also feel like I need to fussy cut every single one of them out. And I gotta tell you, that feels like climbing Mount Everest to me. I don't want to fussy cut them all out, but I want to use them. So I begin whining with the muse. Do I really have to throw them away? Can't I save them for another time? Please, please, please. And my muse was not amused. She basically said, suck it up, buttercup. Use it or lose it. And so I decided I had to find a way around this, because there was no way on this earth I was going to throw these butterflies away. These papers are just too awesome to me. It's this wonderful heavyweight brochure stuff. Yeah, this was treasure, and I'm not tossing it out. So my solution was to cut them out without fussy cutting. All of these butterflies are going to get used, by golly. I am not wasting these things. So I'm going to start by cutting out all of the ones that would go along with an orangish theme. And I am clearly not fussy cutting with these. Some of them have nice square cuts on the sides, and some of them have to be at an angle because of how they were in the brochure. And I am just going to start taping these things in. For just a fleeting moment, I thought maybe I should plan the composition with these butterflies, carefully positioning and placing to get that overall coverage. That way it's balanced, it's even, it's visually pleasing. And then I thought, no, that would take patience, and I used up all my patience cutting out those two whopping butterflies, so this is going to be a slap and go. Either it's all going to get covered up or it's not, and anywhere that isn't completely covered the way I thought, guess what I'm going to call that? An oops, an outstanding opportunity presenting suddenly. Now this is just layer 1 that I'm putting on these pages. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to the YouTube channel, or head on over to the blog and get signed up for my newsletter. And that way you'll know as soon as I put more on this, because I will definitely be sharing whatever I create with it. And all the time that I've looked at this brochure, there is something that I have missed. It wasn't until this point that I actually noticed it. And it was the words, 10 years with flying colors. Look at those colors on that. Those words are awesome. How could I have not totally noticed those before? And that's how things work sometimes. You just don't see what's right in front of you. Well, I am definitely going to be coming back to those words, because they sure are standing out to me right now. Now that hoarder or collector inside of me that's been hanging on to these brochures for 10 years and hasn't really let me use them is actually okay with all of this, because the other choice is these are going to get thrown away. I've basically terrified that collector into using this, because the choice is either to use it or lose it. So collector says, okay, however you want to use it, even though that part of me would love to have every one of these carefully fussy cut out so I could use them as individual, neatly trimmed butterflies, Well, that part of me has gotten over it and is just accepting at least we're using them. At least they're going in there. At least you're making a page with them. This journal had no official title, had no official purpose other than play, until I saw these words. And With Flying Colors is the perfect title for me to put on this because you know there's going to be plenty of color by the time this art journal is finished. Well, thanks so much for joining me for today's play. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate that thumbs up. And I would be very, very grateful if you know of somebody that you think could use a little play in their day if you'd share this video with them. Thanks so much for being a part of this colorful journey.